Four teams preparing for a fight to win on Sunday, a win that would send them to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. We got Washington, Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Buffalo. Hello, good people. This is the Breaking and Entering podcast with Ed and Brandon. Ed, how you feeling today?
Feeling good, man. Just ready for these games to start. But yeah, man. Hopefully have a great weekend. And yeah, man, just looking forward to these games to get started. But let's get this opening drive started, everyone. Robert Saleh is expected to return to the 49ers as defensive coordinator. Joe Mixon and his agent are claiming the NFL fined the Houston Texans running back 25K for comments he did not make following the AFC divisional round defeat to the Kansas City Chiefs on Saturday. Cincinnati Bengals are hiring Notre Dame defensive coordinator Al Golden as their defensive coordinator. Bears hired Detroit OC Ben Johnson as their new head coach. Patriots hired Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator. The Vikings and head coach Kevin O'Connell have agreed to a multi-year extension. Lou Anarumo is joining the Colts as their new defensive coordinator. Pete Carroll is headed to Las Vegas to coach the Raiders, and the Texans parting ways with OC Bobby Slowick. Quick thoughts before we get to the breakdown of the game. Definitely interested or ready to see what Pete Carroll does in Las Vegas. I think he's going to need a new quarterback down there, but definitely want to see how he reworks this team. Like the hire of Bears going with Ben Johnson. Oh, I forgot to mention Aaron Glenn. Of course, he's the head coach of the New York Jets now. That's another good move, I think, by the Jets. I shouldn't say another. One of the first good moves. You got any thoughts on these?
Yeah, I like Aaron Glenn going to New York. Wish him the best of luck. He's going to need it there. They need a quarterback as well. Offensive line is on top of it. Pete Carroll, I was surprised by that. I know they were linking him to Chicago, but they got their man yesterday or the day before. A little bit surprised with the Texans firing their offensive coordinator. He was a hot coaching candidate last year, I believe it was, coming off of CJ's um, rookie year. To see them parting ways, that's very interesting down there. I'm sure he'll land somewhere soon in one of these coordinator positions, and then he'll probably work his way back up in the ranks to be a possible candidate down the line.
Yeah, I am surprised about the Texans part ways of Bobby Slow too. I'm guessing it's because from year one to year two, CJ Stroud kind of had a down year in comparison to his first year, but at the same time, I mean, half his damn wide receiver core got injured, and the old line was trash. So I don't know.
And I think we forgot to mention the Jaguars pretty much hired Liam Cohen
Yeah, I heard
earlier overnight.
like the Jaguars or his previous team was trying to hold on to him,
Yeah,
make him the highest paid offensive coordinator. He didn't sign the contract yet. The Jags got rid of your boy Trent Baalke. That was a funny text he
yeah.
sent about him.
Hmm.
And then I'm hearing that the Jags are. I don't know if he signed the deal yet or anything.
I think
But
it's verbal agreement
yeah, that's kind of
last I heard.
crazy. We had Hard Knocks to see the behind the scenes of that going on.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. All right, though. Let's get into these games, man. Commanders at the Eagles. Last Eagles loss was against the Commanders, although Jalen Hurts did go out that game with concussion. When he was in the game, they were up 14-0. Let me start with Jaden Daniels, man. I think he's in a unique situation right now because he's in his rookie year. This is his first time doing this, so he doesn't have that distraction of, let's say, guys like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, uh, even Joe Burrow, where okay, maybe they get to the playoffs, but what have they done? They haven't won the big game. There's the big brother Patrick Mahomes. Jaden Daniels doesn't necessarily have those distraction of the media attention and all those things in the back of the head that might mess him up. I think he's, like I said last week, he's just going out there playing pressure free football and just doing his thing. So if he can, go out there, play pressure free, mistake free like he's been doing, uh, our chances of winning the game are better. That injury to Sam Cosmi, though, that hurt me bad hearing about when he tore his ACL. I think he's our best lineman, so I need to see how the Commanders' O line looks out there without him on the field, and if his replacement can still get the job done. Because I mentioned it earlier this year how it's in the trenches that the game is really determined, in my opinion. The O line and D line. We're going up against two great lines of the Eagles. I'm talking about the O line and their D line. Jalen Carter, I've been hearing his name a lot this week, so I'm expecting a lot of pressure for him as a D tackle. So if Jaden Daniels can play mistake free, last week the team as a whole we only had four penalties, 25 yards. Got to keep it that way. Can't have dumb penalties. We're going up against a divisional opponent, so the game might get a little bit heated. You guys, chirping and blah 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 after the whistle and stuff. I don't want to can't have any dumb shoving somebody after the play because he did something the ref didn't see it. Get back to the huddle, get to the next play, man. We gotta play smart out there and play mistake free. And then the defense again, Joe Witt Jr. Hell of a job. You got these guys playing inspired football. Same with Dan Quinn. Guys got to make plays. Mike Saren still made plays last week. Quan Martin made plays last week. Guys got to make plays. And most importantly, simple, but the basics. You got to tackle. I'm not talking about like everybody got to get up. Saquon Barkley, I'm going to get into him in a minute, but you got to be able to tackle, get guys on the ground. Can't have them breaking tackles and then going for another 10, 15 yards. Game tackle, solo tackle, doesn't matter. Get these guys on the ground, especially Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, get out there and scramble, put a shoulder into him. I'm not saying do anything dirty, but you got to make him feel his presence out there. Now the Eagles, man. I haven't said who I thought was going to win yet, but the Eagles, Saquon Barkley. I mean, he's rushed for 100 yards every time we played him. I don't see that stopping. But if somehow we can contain him, we can't have Saquon going off and AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert going off. You got to stop one or the other. You got to either stop the pass or stop the run. We can't have. Hopefully, we can stop both. I doubt that's going to happen. But we can't have both of these going off. I don't want to see Eagles winning the time of possession and just march down the field on us because they can do whatever they want to us. But that defense, I'm concerned about for the Eagles. I know I still think they're a little overrated, but they got playmakers out there. Darius Slay. Quinion Mitchell, I mentioned his name a lot. I think he's a little overrated, but he still makes plays out there. Looks like he's off the injury report, so God damn it to that. Jalen Carter, got to deal with him. I mentioned the O-line earlier, how we missed Sam Cosmi. I know Jalen Carter's a D tackle, but he's going to wreak havoc wherever they put him in the line. So we need to, have Jaden Daniels get some time out there, and guys got to make plays. Mentioned on the defense side, but De'Ami Brown, he stepped up this week, so continue to step up, De'Ami. Terry McLaurin, do your thing out there. Zach Ertz, I need you to play well, no drops, play smart, get up the field, and don't do too much. Make a play, get down. Don't try to take on 3, 4, or 5 guys trying to get extra yardage. But all in all, I think it's a tough task. Eagles are favored by 6 points. I think overall they just got a better team, especially the O line and D line. So I do see them come out on top in this game. Unfortunately, if with my mind, I think that's how it's going to turn out. I think Saquon Barkley is just going to be able to run the ball. I don't know if Jalen Hurts. I think he's still a little rusty with coming off the concussion and stuff, but I think we'll be okay in the passing game. Now I am kind of worried about Devontae Smith. I think he'll have a more inspired performance since he had that drop against his last time. But I do think overall the Eagles are just a little bit better, and they'll probably make a little bit more plays than us. But my gut, my heart, I'm going with the Commanders, of course. Brandon, your thoughts?
So, which one of these defenses will step up and stop the opposing top playmaker on the other side of the ball? I think that'll be a main difference in this one. Saquon Barkley, Jaden Daniels, two of the league's best at their positions. I think the Eagles' defense got a better chance of containing Daniels just a tad more than Washington does against Barkley. Part of that is the secondary, much improved from last year. 13 interceptions, 22 forced fumbles, 41 sacks during the regular season. I see one of the rookies, Cooper DeJean, and you mentioned Kenyon Mitchell, one of them making a huge play against Daniels that'll result in some points. And I think that'll also be a difference maker in this one as well. Y'all's offensive line may have a long day. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Big Jordan Davis, and the playmaker, Zach Bond out there. His name was called a lot last week, and come find out his name was called a lot this season, which I didn't even realize. He was one of the top 5 candidates for Defensive Player of the Year. They came out, all pro as well. Two guys I think can be unsung heroes for you all. Zach Ertz, you mentioned him, and De'Ami Brown. Ertz, not just because he's playing against his former team here in the playoffs, more so he's been a security blanket for the rookie quarterback. Seems like whenever y'all need a big play, especially in the red zone, he's been there. And then, of course, De'Ami Brown has had himself a stellar postseason as well.
Yeah.
He's been more of a deep threat, getting things going involved out there. Of course, game plan starts and stops with Saquon. I'd like to see more eight-man fronts if I'm a Commanders fan. Bring down possibly Jeremy Chin a little bit more. He's a hitter. Try to stop him in his tracks before he gets going. But the health of Jalen Hurts is very key in this one. He had a full workload on Thursday in practice, from what I heard. But will his knee be 100% to do those tush push type plays, roll out to either side? I think that can go a long way in keeping their drives going. Um, I was going Philly for most of the week. I think I'm
Oh,
going to go with the Commanders, man. I think I'm
my
going to
man.
go third straight
Like,
week
run it out again.
with the Jaden and company. I think they're going to get it done. Surprise some people up there. It's going to be tough, man. Those Eagles fans are going to be into that game. I know you mentioned early in the season with the false start. It seemed like every time y'all used to get in the red zone, y'all have a false start to, uh, kill a drive, force a field goal, something like that. Hopefully that doesn't impact y'all too much. But if y'all can keep it close, we've seen it. Those type of games tend to favor y'all um, than the opposing teams. I look forward to seeing this game for sure Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and quick notes again, real quick. I believe Dan Quinn, either as a head coach or a coordinator, is 3-0 in conference championship games. But on the other side, the Eagles are 13-0 when they keep opposing offenses under 350 yards. So some numbers to think about as well. But yeah, definitely looking forward to this one. It's going to be on Fox. Tom Brady has got this game. He did a
Yep.
little better last week in commentating, in my opinion. So I'll see how he does this week too.
Got you. All right, the Chiefs host the Bills with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. But first, this episode is brought to you by Prehemium, a CBD health and wellness company. Check out their line of CBD infused products, which are a perfect after workout refill for athletes, a pain reliever for weekend warriors, and even a natural sports drink for us armchair quarterbacks. Their featured product is CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite of mine, as well as tinctures and mint and natural flavors. They are veteran, women, and minority owned, so come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code B and E for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. And now back to our show. AFC Championship kicks off Sunday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 Central on CBS. KC, they're the favorites by 2 at home at last check. That's where I'm leaning as well. I'm going to KC. I'm leaning more in that favor, more so because of their defense. I see George Karlaftis and Nick Bolton having primetime style performances against the Buffalo offensive line. Those two guys, I think, along with Justin Reed, will be the eyes on Josh Allen when he tries to go east to west, because that's where he can kill you, especially when he goes out to the right, his right. He can make those throws on a dime downfield and make your defense look silly. I didn't even mention Chris Jones. He's a force up in the middle as well. But if Buffalo can come out and run the ball like they did against Baltimore, I think their chances go up a lot. I think they will, though, struggle. Buffalo's defense will struggle against Kelsey and his yards after the catch. I think he's going to get his plays in there. He always shows up in the biggest games for sure. And that was where most of his damage was done against Houston as well. Um, Patrick Mahomes, though, he turned the ball over twice in the Buffalo win. um, I think it was midway in the season. That was their first loss, if I'm not mistaken, of the season. But he hasn't had any turnover since. So we'll see how things go on Sunday. I also think the home team, Kansas City, they have an advantage on special teams and coaching overall. Um, yeah, it should be a close one, but I got the Chiefs for now, unfortunately. But if the Bills win, because I need a Buffalo win, my heart wants to go that way, but my mind says Kansas City. If Buffalo wins, I will get a Josh Allen jersey and wear
Oh,
it on the
oh
show
wow.
when it comes in. I don't know if
What?
it'll come in by the time of the Super Bowl. Yes, I'll get a Josh Allen jersey because I need. This has got to stop, y'all. This is getting out of control. Okay, We can't. I can't deal with no more Kansas City Super Bowls. Please. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, man. I think he might be dealing with another Kansas City Super Bowl. Honestly, in my mind, it's kind of the same opinion you got. In my mind, I'm leaning towards Kansas City, but my gut, for some reason, is telling me the Bills. They've been able to run the ball this year. James Cook, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, they all been having their day in the rushing game. So all in all, though, I agree with you. I think that Kansas City defense just going to have a little bit more pressure on Josh Allen. Maybe we'll see him because he's been really good at not turning the ball over this year as well. Maybe he'll get rattled or something or try to make a play and he'll throw a turnover in a costly venture in the game. And that's the way it'll tick. Because, like you said, the Chiefs are favored by 2 points. I think usually when the home team they automatically get three. So I feel like Vegas thinks this game is a little bit, 50-50. I'm leaning that way too, but I get it's like a tough, a really close bit. It's like 51 Kansas City, 49% of Bills. I just think it's something about the Kansas City Chiefs. I've been mentioning it all this year. Some way, somehow, they find a way to win a game. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think we're going to see one of those patented 10 play, 8, 9 minute drives from Kansas City, score a touchdown and gives them some confidence. It might not happen like, fourth quarter, might be somewhere in the third quarter, but that, drive it'll be like 10 minutes in the third quarter by the time Bills get the ball back. Is only they got like a minute left in the third quarter. Something like that can happen. Um, I think guys like Trent McDuffie. I really want to see how the Bills receivers look. We mentioned all year how he got rid of certain guys. Stephon Diggs not there anymore, and it seems like the Bills wide receivers been thriving. Khalil Shakir, I can think of. I think he's their leading receiver. They add Amari Cooper and of course Keon Coleman. He was he had some good games and then he looked like a rookie some other games. So I want to see how the Bills wide receivers looked against the McDuffies. Other guys out there for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that the Chiefs defense, like I said, like you said, is going to be able to make some more plays. I think the Chiefs aren't going to shoot themselves in the foot. Kind of, I'm sorry, but kind of like Baltimore did last week. And they're just going to play the way they've been playing and get to another Super Bowl. I'm also going to see Pat Mahomes rushing for like 50, 75 yards. I think he'll have like 8 or 9 carries maybe where he breaks contain. I can see that happening because the Bills defense, Matt Milano, the guys, they've been playing better. And it seems like as the game gets further down along, they crunch up a little bit more. You guys weren't running the ball as I expected you to. That kind of surprised me. So I can see, Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco having long days out there. But at the same time, I see Mahomes, making a play, 3 or 4 plays where he's gets 10, 15, 20 yards because he breaks them. So I can definitely see that happen. So all in all, give me the Chiefs in this one. I like the Chiefs over the Bills. I think it's their time, and I think they're going to three-peat. I honestly do. Sorry, Brand. I know you don't want to hear that, but yeah, I think that's how they're going to go, man.
Real quick, um, I actually saw something the other day that I didn't even realize in the um, Buffalo win over Kansas City during the regular season. Patrick Holmes didn't rush for anything. They was crediting Terrell Bernard actually for that because Milano, I think he was either out or working his way back. He probably was in that
Yeah,
21-day window during that time frame. But they said he didn't rush for anything. Like they kept his lanes very tight in that game. So that'll be interesting to see if he can get that 75, 50 to 75, like you said.
yeah, definitely. All right, guaranteed picks of the week. While I was thinking, talking about the Chiefs game, I was going back to my Commanders Eagles pick, and there was something that I saw last week in the Eagles game. My boy Matt Brown, he mentioned it too. Jake Elliott did miss a couple of kicks. If it comes down to it, and Jake Elliott needs to make a kick to win the game, I don't know. So you know what? I'm gonna go with the Commanders for my guaranteed pick of the week over the Eagles. Let's do it. Commanders over the Eagles, my guaranteed pick of the week. Brandon, who you got?
All right, so I told you I had changed my pick last minute, so I had the Eagles originally. Saquon energized the bunny out there on the field. Secondary is improved. Georgia defenders, those big guys are just wreaking havoc all year long. But I changed my pick to Washington, so I'm going to go with Kansas City. We've all seen this before. I think the only AFC Championship losses they had was against Cincinnati and New England. I think New England was Mahomes' first year as a starter, and Cincy beat him really in the second half of that game. They shut him out, and I remember saying Patrick was going to come back the following year, get his vengeance, and win the MVP, and sure enough, he did. So I got Kansas City winning this one, guaranteed in Buffalo. Excuse me, against Buffalo at home in Kansas City, where they always host AFC championships, except for pretty much last year.
Gotcha. Also, real quick, Magic Johnson. I need that juju. I need that juice, inspiration. Whatever you got, give it to them. Give those commanders that extra oomph. The extra energy they need to go out there and make some plays. I definitely need Magic Johnson to get that in. But all right, everyone, that's going to do it for the conference championship preview show, the Breaking and Entering podcast. Hope everyone stays safe out there, has a good weekend, enjoys the games, enjoys whatever you're going to do out there this weekend. Uh, Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like. Just look for us, Breaking and Entering podcast B&E podcast. Same for Twitter or X and Instagram as well. Shout out to the sponsor, Prehemium as well. Everybody stay safe out there.